practice for the center for this semester. Though typically all of our Friday sessions could be considered community of practice because we come together and we share ideas, and that's part of what it is, although we're going to have you start talking about what that is as well. There we are. And so we serve as a host simply by providing a spot for faculty members to meet, to be able to talk. We provide a space to talk. Sometimes we'll get the ball rolling with a topic, and we nearly always have some sort of refreshments in here for you. So those of you that are joining online, I'm going to invite you to get your cup of tea and whatever else you need to sustain yourself through this. But know that you are definitely going to be an active part of today's session, the interaction. So I wanted to kind of get us started thinking about a couple of ideas about sharing and what it means to us, and then we're going to start, and then we'll get ideas from you all. So we see this as a collaborative forum. So I'm standing here, I'm not sitting there, but there is really, it is not a we're telling you what to do type of thing or telling you how to do it. We are facilitating the opportunity to collaborate with each other and to share ideas. One of the really beautiful things about being here and this particular format is the fact that it is multidisciplinary. I have people all the way across all the campuses and across all the disciplines within the campus. And that is truly a magnificent part of what happens in here, because through the workshops, through everything that you do, you get to interact with people that you might not have had a chance to otherwise. So we like the fact that it's multidisciplinary. It is a way to connect with colleagues, and the teaching profession does not always offer us those opportunities to connect with colleagues. There's a lot of people who teach. For the most part, we go in, we close the door, we talk to our students, and then we go back out. And so this is a time to connect with colleagues. We also see it as a time to reflect. We'll be thinking about things that we do and how to improve ourselves. We'll be looking at ways that we can engage the people that we want to reach, as well as each other, engage with each other and find out things that worked for you as well as things that didn't work. And so it's all a part of this coming together, this joining, in order to provide excellence in what we do and how we do it, because that's what we're all after, looking for excellence and improving ourselves. I also feel like this is an opportunity for innovation, and when we think together and when we brainstorm about different things, new ideas come out of it. What's always interesting to me is that the sum is greater than the individual parts. What we come out of, and you might bring something in, and as we mull it over together, it becomes something really greater than any of us had imagined. So it's an innovative part. And know that what we are doing with intention. We are setting forth intention. And I had another word that intention was there as my clue to say something else, right? No? Okay. Okay. And so, Julie, do you want to add anything in with what we are? We're getting ready to go into our...
Hi, everybody. No, I think Judy is doing an amazing job. Thanks for letting me into your video.
All right. So now then, because we are definitely a community of practice and we want to engage everyone who is here in the room and virtually in exactly the same manner, it is going to be definitely an interactive event today. We have 2 questions that we want you to think about. What does it mean to be part of a community, and how might that apply to a university setting? So we have created a document that we will all be working on at the same time. And I've got the web link up there. So if on your computer, both in here and virtually, if you will go to that web link, can we put it back up?
Yeah.
Just briefly, so that we can get the link to it for those in here, well, and those online as well, so that you can get the link, and then we can go to it too. And Bitly is simply a site that you can use to condense those long URL addresses. And I learned about it from Allison. Yeah. There you are.
There.
Yay.
Yes,
All right.
perfect.
Okay, and so once you get in there,
So everyone should be in. You may need to just refresh the page once in order to get the editing rights.
okay, thank you. So once you get in there, we're going to ask you to go to a slide. Someone's already on one of them. Pick one of the slides, or if there's not one available yet, click to add one, put slide, a new slide to add one. And then we're going to encourage you to use both text and visuals, or combination of the 2, to respond. And the 2 questions are right there. And we'll keep that page up as you're working on your own, on your own page. So how are we doing? We want to start sharing?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
You're so good. I'm excited.
We are going to do it by just running through the slides and then letting each person, can we turn them on? Turn their mics on, letting each person talk about what they've got on there. So Enid, it looks like you're up first.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, good.
Okay. Community means a lot of things to me. I didn't get time to finish.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But it means collaboration from everybody working together to make something come together, like the middle picture right in here. Support, everybody supporting each other. And of course, creativity. Your family, you know, community is a family in many different ways.
Yeah. Absolutely. So tell us about the guy in the picture.
That's my dog Albert wearing the e-learning hat.
I knew we had an e-learning dog in the group. And the picture in the middle, is that something someone has created for you, or something you found?
No, that's a picture I collect when I'm doing different art and stuff. That's a group of Apaches making a blanket, and it was a collaborative work. And you can see that everybody put in something different, and it just came out beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And that reminds me of the quilting bees that
Right.
that in the southeastern U.S. that are common there, probably everywhere actually. But yeah, what y'all put together creates a beautiful end product. Thank you, thank you. And yes, you can continue working on it, and that's fine. You will totally have access to it. Shall we move? Nancy.
Yes, I didn't get to finish either, but
No, it's okay.
for me, when I think of a community, I feel like it could just feelings of connectedness and teamwork, and that definitely applies to a university environment. You know, because students and professors alike do need an environment to be able to thrive, and so that's what came to mind.
Okay, okay. And Okay, well, I'll come back. We can come back to that because I'll give you a chance to think about it, about how you've got university environment. So are there other ways that you feel that connectedness within this environment? So we'll come back to it. Okay. So who else do we have next? Judy.
So I have the coping bee up there in the corner, and I wrote for that sharing culture because I think part of being a community practice definitely has to do with our cultures, our beliefs, the things that motivate us to be who we are, part of our identity. For those who are in e-certification, about the identity that we talk about in there. I also think it's part of the folks in the middle there. There were words on the other side there that says sharing solutions. So I took those science students as thinking about that as a collaborative solution, which I think is one of the things that to me is important about community and education, that we allow our students to be a community of solution makers. Because I think really in the 21st century, most of what our students are going to do is collaborate on solving global problems. So collaborating through media like we're doing right now, this kind of exercise that we're doing right now, gets them sort of in the mode about having people other than those who are sitting right in front of them or other than those who are in Boca Raton being part of a solution for them or part of their learning journey. And this Google slideshow is something that you can do with any other student anywhere in the world really that has internet access. So to me, that's part of building community as well. And then just sharing fun, because I think communities are fun. We have fun in this community practice that we do here. And I thought those two little girls, like they were having a lot of fun sort of, sharing something sweet. And I think we share something sweet in our community for the things that don't know.
Kathy's still working on hers. I saw her just add in. Oh, family picture? Yay.
Sorry. So in a community, well, it occurred to me that I'm very blessed to have the ability and freedom to choose the communities that I want to be part of. Oops. There are a lot of people who don't have the freedom to choose their community, I guess. And choosing to be part of a community for me means you have vested interest in the welfare of the group. You agree to abide by the standards and whatever, whether that's laws or rules. I was thinking my homeowners association,
Yeah.
And then you benefit when the whole group benefits. Like, if I don't like the rules there, I don't have to live there, but I chose to live there and I signed the thing, so I do, I go along with it.
Yeah.
And this group is my church ladies, and my church is the same. If I don't want to follow the accepted behaviors and things, then I shouldn't be in that church. I can go, but to be associated as a member, and then in the university, I think most people are part of the community by choice, and so that would
Mike,
I love the Venn diagram, Mike. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Collaboration, I think, is huge. And I wanted a picture of the puzzle pieces because I feel like we can every person brings something different to the table, and when everyone has their own piece and everyone comes together, it becomes something really great. And I like that picture. And then the one of the bicycle, there was another one that I had seen where two people were pedaling to the right and two were pedaling to the left, and they weren't going anywhere. I like this one better because they're all obviously pedaling the same way, so it's kind of towards that same common goal. And also the repository of knowledge. Eventually these people who we worked together with become friends who you can always ask a question on that sort of thing.
Is that your picture up there?
Yeah, that's what it is.
His baby pictures.
And then I like the picture of the computers because sometimes we're like that.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah, talk things.
Nina.
Yeah, this is me. The question is, I also added the animation, but I think we could not see it if we don't do a preview.
Oh, so you need to show the slideshow.
Oh, hit
Oh,
present at
okay.
the top right.
I just want to see also how it works.
Yeah, but then
Sure, and that's what it's all about.
Top right of Google. Not of Jesus present.
I don't see it.
Nothing complicated, but just to see.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Okay, but who's picking it? The operator?
We would just go through it.
Well,
It's probably
click,
like
yeah,
a,
by
you have to
click.
press the space button.
Oh, she added it.
Yes, she had a transition. There you
Very
go.
good.
Very good.
Thank you. I wanted, yeah, I need to work in that, so they're gonna be one by one.
That's
But
okay.
from my perspective, it's very important to be responsible when talking about community. So I added a dictionary definition of what is responsible. So it's having an obligation to do something or having control over and care for someone as part of one job role. So I totally agree with it. It's our choice most of the time to be part of the community or not, but being part of it with some roles. And we have to adjust to them. So for the university, it will be comply with rules and schedule, but also respect others' time and space.
Excellent. And would you please pronounce your last name for me?
Luis Markova,
Luis Makova. And that's from
Belarus.
Wonderful. We're glad to have you. Glad to have you part of
Go
our.
back to the present. And then just you go forward.
Right, and there was one
Oh,
more.
there's more.
My one more
Show it
text.
like a PowerPoint.
Yeah, there was one more text. Let's see if it will work.
So the space bar? Or the right
Click
arrow?
the mouse too.
Maybe works
And I
with so
love
many
the
things
little, I
open.
love the little sign up there.
Right.
Okay, right. There you go. Oh, there's one.
Okay, I'm Samantha, and I just basically gave my definition of what I think the community entails. And from the graphics that I included there, I really feel that a community is a space and a venue for dialogue and sharing of ideas, and that's huge. I come from the College of Education, and I come from a K-12 background prior to joining the faculty here full time. So for me, whereas you're talking about people choosing their communities, when you're working with children in K-12, they don't always have that choice. They're kind of just there. So being on the other side of it, you have to really foster the building of that community. But it's all about having a shared vision, shared goals, and somewhat of that same purpose. And in a university setting, we can assume that to some degree, our goals are similar, right? We're trying to better themselves by earning an education. So I really just think that the key is dialogue and sharing of ideas and learning from each other while retaining our own personal values and culture.
Hi, so this is mine. My name is Allison, and I'm one of the IDs here. And I was reading, I think it was either experience in education or democracy in education, but Judy talks a lot about community. And it really kind of hit home for me as far as the idea of unity and how I can't necessarily be fully me unless I'm contributing to you and you're contributing to me. And everybody's individual piece, like Judy was saying earlier, that the sum is greater than the individual parts. And I really like that idea, of the unity piece and community, which is really important. So that's what I immediately thought of.
I like that you that you picked out the word unity in community. That's pretty cool.
I'm Brian Ty. It's to share, communicate, and collaborate with group members. And this applies to the university because we all are under the same umbrella and we should share and work towards a common goal. On a day-to-day.
I love the tin can kid. That's
Yeah.
really neat.
Something that's a child's way to do
We
that.
find ways to communicate with each other.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be the same way.
And today is an example of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is
Okay, my turn, I think. Stella?
Yes, thank you.
With pleasure. As I believe that community is working together towards a common goal. And in our case, with education, the main interest, the main focus or goal that we have is actually help the students and give them what they need to be the members to society that we expect them to be. So we're working towards the future of the world. And we need to share ideas and tips and knowledge. And we can all benefit just from knowing, from learning what others have gone through so that we get better at it and we share also our experiences. Again, working together and sharing are the two most important things I see in a community.
Thank you, Stella. We'll skip over mine because I was late getting into it and it's still a work in progress, so.
Yeah, that is not Judy.
Yeah, that is not, you're right. Different computer, different, mindset in different directions. So I'll get back to it, I promise.
right. I want to share mine before we move on. To me, as an educator, the key word here is nothing in education happens by chance. So we need to have that intention, we need to have that purpose. Community for me also relates to the space, physical space where something happens and that's which allows the dialogue that you were talking about to exist. In a university setting, the difference is we have our students in mind, which would be different from a corporate setting or some other kind of setting. So space, physical space, and all those resources that are concentrated on providing quality education for our students. I didn't have time to put pretty pictures, but I will.
Yeah, that's right with me. I didn't either, but I will, I promise.
Oh, there's more.
Yes.
Sorry.
Hello, it comes my turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking Wong. Actually, as for me, the first thing when I think of a community is that it allows people to communicate and share ideas. Because I'm from the computer science department, I believe the technologies really make this happen. And it makes people easier to reach each other, right, over the internet. Like I can remotely join this class, right? And of course, the collaboration is another very important feature of a community. It makes people can help each other, just like all of you already mentioned about my opinions on the community.
That's a great image for your department, Ding Ding, because everybody is so connected to electronics.
Right, everybody can connect to each other through internet, and that's why we can have the online classes and online meetings, right, like this.
So we look to you for adding to our repertoire of ways of sharing online. If we can do that?
Actually, I think we can always improve the technology from the feedback of the educator, from the feedback of the users, right? We can always improve it, yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Maybe one more.
So I put that up there just to sort of think of communities in a broader sense or in a different sense than we've been looking at it too, that there are many different levels at which one can participate in a community of practice. So we have like 4 people, which would be the people, in our community of practice. The 4 is that little group in the middle there. Then we have active members who may come and go. We have people that show up all the time. We have people that show up some of the time when it's relevant to them or when they have time. And then you start to, the concentric circles kind of go out to the occasional participants and then the peripheral participants. And then those transactional participants are important too. So those would be people that maybe never came to this community of practice, but talked to one of you who were a part of it. And so they get transactional knowledge, tacit knowledge exchange from what we build in our community as our shared resources. They wind up being part of our community because you've shared resources with them. So we can think of our communities as being really broad when we start to look at them in the different levels that people can participate.
So that said, let's open it up for discussion or adding or changing, and know that you can change what you've got on your page as well as add to it and keep to keep the conversation going. So anything else that has come to your mind? Is everyone online still able to talk?
I like the idea that.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. The fact that we are all from such a different backgrounds, this particular group, I don't know if it's the case every time you do this, but the fact that everybody with something as simple as community, everybody was able to come up with a different perspective, a different view. And I think that is very rich. That's how we all grow from and learn from each other.
Yeah, and particularly where we kind of threw it at you, here it is, come up with something, and everybody did, except me, everybody did come up with something that added to the whole, and in a beautiful way and from a different perspective.
I think what Stella just said too kind of speaks to a couple of us put the tapestry or the Apache rug that Enid put up there and the quilting bee. I think that too kind of speaks to this like tapestry that we create in with different cultures and different ways of thinking, different ethnicities, different races, different cultural backgrounds. All of those things impacts what we do and say in our communities, right? And so that shared resource piece that comes with community of practice, I think just gets more and more enriched the more we kind of build our mosaic in a community. So to me, it's a really exciting construct to use in education and especially for online education. I think this is a really important piece that we build in our classrooms, online classrooms, because we don't want students to ever feel like they're alone out there because there is such a great community there. But we as instructors or as designers really, have to be very intentional about bringing our community of practice in our classrooms together too.
I liked what Nancy said about the connectedness and the teamwork that happens when you're in a community. And there's also a pride, when you do work together and you're successful and things look good and they're going well, it's just like you're proud to tell other people, I'm on this team, and these, we're going to Super Bowl. And just every time there's a success or a celebration, you have other people to hold you up and be part of that too, and you want to bring other people in. And when you're talking e-learning, it's this levels of participate. I'm thinking worldwide, how far out it spreads. Pretty neat.
One of the joys of being an educator is, and it's a mixed bag, is that you do touch people in ways that you'll never ever know, because it just keeps spreading.
And it also allows for people not only different backgrounds, but different abilities. A person who is quadriplegic might not be able to get physically to a university, but they could absolutely be part of an online collaboration, and be a really, have a really vital part in that. Really, ways that we've never had before.
So two things also come to mind to me about what we do here in community. I don't know if the folks that are with us right now know that once a month we are sharing out our community to the state of Florida. So we've been asked this semester to join FDLA, which is the Florida Distance Learning Association, and one other group that is a kind of consortiums about online learning. They're either faculty or instructional designers. And so they're going to be sharing this Friday thing once a month. So we already kind of expanding out. And I think that's a really exciting opportunity for us. You know, we know what's going on at FAU, and some of you are just coming into what's going on at FAU, and some of you have been doing FAU online learning for a while. But now we're going to get the opportunity to talk to, you know, folks that are at the universities here, the people that are at the state college level too, is what I'm really excited about, because oftentimes they don't have the budget that we have at a university to really kind of nurture online learning along. So oftentimes when I go to conferences and speak to people that are in these, you know, kind of remote Florida areas with a state college in them, they have, like, you know, the two faculty members that really just get it on their own and are, you know, kind of being the driving force of saying, like, hey guys, we should get on this. And they're exciting people to talk to for me, because there's nothing in it for them in terms of, you know, tenure and promotion. There's no stipend in it for them. There's none of the things that at the big universities we have that kind of, you know, help us build a community here. Let's face it, we're very busy in our practices, and sometimes if there weren't incentives to spend a whole semester with us building a class, not as many people would do it probably. So to me, the exciting thing is to find, you know, these folks that are out there just doing it for the love of the art, and what their motivations are. I think I'm really excited to hear from them. We also have people doing other things than we do here, and I love going to conferences. I go to the Quality Matters conference and the OLC conference, and we always see, and all the IDs have gone to these with me too, and you always pick out from somebody else's practice of, like, whoa, we didn't think of that. In fact, Allie just walked out, but the Bitly thing that she just put up there, and we didn't do a pull everywhere this time, right?
Not this time.
But some of the things that we now use in this are things that we saw people do at the conferences that we were like, that's a cool idea, we're taking that, you know. And that's kind of what those conferences are all about too, is that we're really trying to just raise the general level of online learning. When it started, there was, you know, there were no parameters. Who was looking at it? You know, who was saying, what is a good online course? Who had any structure for it? So, you know, the people at QM, the people at OLC got together on a voluntary basis, you know, on a national level, and said, well, if we were going to say what's a really great online course, what would it look like? You know, and they put together these rubrics, and then over the years, you know, maybe Enid can probably speak to this, because she has done hundreds of QM reviews for faculty at other universities. You're still on, Enid?
Yes, I'm on. I was on mute, sorry. Yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the things that when I'm doing reviews that I pay close attention to is what's really fantastic and is really working, and what isn't. And it's not a critical what isn't, is so that we can know what not to do or what to avoid. And there are some fantastic things going on at different universities, and if we could learn from that and we could create our own, I think, and I already know we're a great team, we could even create better courses than what we're doing now.
Excellent, thank you, thank you. Does anybody else want to add to the conversation?
So Judy, one of the things that I don't want to dominate
No,
the
no, no.
conversation, but I get so excited about community practice. It's one of my favorite things. So one of the things that I would ask of the folks in the room and the folks online is to think about how we can share our resources. We want to share it within here. You know, we have excellent ideas in our classes. Like Nancy's been doing this for a long time. And she has some great strategies that she uses with her students. So she was asking me the other day, should I share this at the technology conference? And I think yes, and I think within here too that we bring our resources together and share them back out, and I think that just enriches our FAU community as a whole, because at the end of the day, the whole reason any of us are in this room and doing what we do is so that students learn, right? And I think being in community is a better way for us, or a way that's really enriching to keep our focus there. Sometimes I get so caught up in a million things that are going on at this center. We have, so many exciting projects, but we're really busy all the time. And we have to stay focused. Willie and I focus ourselves all the time with like, what's the student, what's in it for the student if we do this project rather than this project? How will this enrich the student learning in our online courses? How will it enrich the university as a whole by us taking on this kind of a project? So I think when we're in community, we can also stay centrally focused to what was the core, what's the core that brings us together. And at the core of all that we do here is online learning, but ultimately it's our FAU students, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So that said, we want to make sure that we keep these connection lines open and that we know that this is a group that we can come to, that we can bring our successes and bring our challenges, our opportunities for learning and growing as well, because this is how it's going to grow, and this is how it's going to spread. So that was probably, I don't know if we want to go back. Look at you, girl. And I had put a wrap-up thing in there, but I think we just did the wrap-up by encouraging us all to kind of stay together, to stay in contact, and to keep bringing things back around to this, and to know that what you have that works, we want to join in, we want to share with. Samantha's already been talking about things that she's done that work for her, and that truly is what it's all about, how we're gonna make that work together. So what we want to do before we let you go, is let you know what we have coming up, our coming attractions. Next Friday, we'll be talking about assessments, going beneath the obvious, the term and final, perhaps if that's the direction you want to go, but there's a lot more there and a lot of other ways of reaching that. Then we are going to be having a wonderful session on Benjamin Bloom's amazing superpower tool.
Sell it, Judy, sell it.
Yeah, we're something that we all jump on that bandwagon because it works for us. It works for us. And then on the 19th, I definitely want to invite everyone in here to join us virtually or online. Accessibility awareness, view from a student perspective. We had invited Tracy Hill in to talk to us within our group. I found the instruction designers here to share with us just one student's perspective, and they're all unique, of course. And she's a master's student in the College of Ed, and brings a huge awareness piece for us. So we want to make sure that everybody is able to join us for that, because that's a wonderful way of learning. We have the calendar, and we did not put the calendar link in here, but we'll make sure that everyone has access to it. And the calendar we have up through, I know through this whole semester, we've got items on the calendar for us to share. Everything that we do in here is interactive, joining, hands-on, collaborative, sharing out, so that we're all in this and we all have a part of it together. That's pretty much it. Anybody else want to add anything? Great. Thank you for joining us virtually in here. It's good to see you again and good to hear from everybody that we have online. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Judy.
Awesome.